Hello and welcome to World Talks, where every word matters, with me, Anna Kalczynska. Good morning. The 82nd Annual Golden Globe Awards took over Beverly Hills Sunday night with another star-studded evening in honor of the best movies and TV shows for the past year. What a comedian presiding and hosting this year's ceremony, Nikki Glaser, Hollywood's biggest stars, dazzled at the ceremony. Together with Magdalena Maksimiuk, a film critic, we'll discuss some of the jury's choices this year. Good morning. Good to have you.
Good morning.
All right, so Emilia Perez cleaned up with several wins, including Best Musical and Comedy Motion Picture and a Best Supporting Actress for Zoe Saldana. And Jacques Audiard, the French director, who wins the Best Movie and Best Foreign Movie. Is it a surprise, or rather something that we were all expected?
I think that Best Picture, this is always something quite surprising because Golden Globes is a very specific kind of an award that differentiates comedies from drama films. And of course, this is always an interesting choice for the upcoming nominations for the Oscars. I have to say that saying that Emilia Perez won, most important categories apart from the Brutalist wouldn't be a huge surprise, because this title has been named one of the best films of the previous year. And of course, I have to say as a film critic that 2024 wasn't the best year for films, so that the Brutalist and Emilia Perez were outstanding in their style, in form. Both these films have won numerous awards before, basically in film festivals, in European film festivals, which means that basically American cinema, even in those Golden Globes, was, let's say, on the second place this year. I have to say that The Brutalist, being quite a remarkable experience of a film, is very much rooted in European tradition. And Brady Corbet, being an American independent director, has always underlined his fascination with European cinema, with European art. And this is, I would say, one of the best films of previous year, although it's very, very long, and many viewers and film critics have been a little bit, I wouldn't say disappointed, but surprised by the length of the film. It is a festival movie. I have to say that one of the biggest surprises, but positive ones, is of course an award for Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain, a movie that has been filmed and produced and co-produced with Poland and in Poland. Kieran Culkin plays one of the brothers, and the film is directed by Jesse Eisenberg, who both actors were present during Polish premieres. And for Kieran Culkin, this is a first Golden Globe, which is quite surprising, having in mind his appearances in, for instance, a wonderful TV show Succession. And for Demi Moore, her first Golden Globe, and generally one of the biggest awards for Demi Moore, it is quite a little bit surprising that Pamela Anderson has been left out. She also has been pointed out as one of the best actresses last season. I have to say that I think that Best Director also choosing Brady Corbet for his effort in The Brutalist would be a little bit surprising, bearing in mind that he had huge competition this year, both for comedies and dramas. So there are a little bit surprising choices, a few of them for sure, but I have to say that these choices were pretty wise. Golden Globes are awarded by foreign press associated journalists, and this is always a nice and interesting entry to Oscar nominations, as I said before.
Exactly, an entry to the Oscars. We are all awaiting these most prestigious awards coming up in March. But let's go back to The Brutalist just for a second, because it was a very interesting comment by by the awarded Adrian Brody, who said that it's taken me 2 decades to find something of this caliber. He said, receiving the award and talking, of course, of his previous role in Roman Polanski's haunting film of The Pianist. Now he's coming back with another role, playing a Jewish architect in The Brutalist, trying to rebuild his life after the Second World War in America. So another very, we should say, important role, important story to tell. It would be like a continuity, right, for Adrian Brody to try to build solid figures in the cinema. He didn't want to choose between something lighter, on a lighter note, or something completely different like Demi Moore, for instance.
Well, Adrian Brody is an actor of huge range, and he certainly has been choosing different roles over the past 2 decades, but certainly this film creates for him a unique opportunity to go back to what he actually does best. So a huge transformation, including his physicality and his physique, along with the actor's state of mind. The film goes back in time, of course, and it presents a life of an architect during the turbulent times of transformation in Europe and in the States. And I believe that Adrian Brody is made for such roles, hugely demanding, films that create a certain universe and create certain opportunities for actors that not many films create. And Adrian Brody is a chameleon playing these roles, and obviously he is almost unrecognizable in his effort playing the architect. It's such a haunting depiction of a person's downfall and rise to fame that I believe this is just one of the roles in a lifetime. Well, Adrian Brody has done it twice at least. I would say he is a strong contender for Oscar as well. But even putting awards aside, this performance just stays in the mind of a viewer for a very long time after the screening. And it's not just the way that we see an actor in a certain role, in certain skin. It's just the way that he presents himself with his persona on screen, the way he establishes a character that we have known nothing about. And this wouldn't be a huge spoiler if I just say that after the screening, many people, including myself, have been Googling the person of an architect just to find out that he's a fictional character. So his presence on screen is so fatal and so overwhelming that this creation just stays. So true. Not at all surprising.
Disappointment for the Polish movie industry, I should say, with The Girl with the Needle, a Danish-Swedish-Polish co-production, which received the nomination in the non-English Best Movie, Foreign Movie. And here, Emilia Perez won this category again, with Jacques Audiard being a strong contender for the Oscars, right? Or rather, we should probably still have hope for Magnus von Horn.
Oh, I'm always for hopes, obviously. Polish cinema has always been a strong contender for at least 25 years. We have always either had put a Polish film or a Polish co-production in this category, or we have won. So I would say we don't have anything to be said about, because Emilia Perez is just a wonderful film. It's a very surprising film. Starting even to watch a film by an established French filmmaker who has been making films for 30, 40 years, it's really surprising to see something so fresh in form and style. And, you could call it a musical, you could call it a drama film, you could call it comedy, you could call it anything you want. And this is just the beauty of this film. It lasts about 2 hours, and you can never expect what you're going to watch in just a second. And of course, A Girl with a Needle is a wonderful effort. It's a very stylized and a very well thought film. And I have to say that Magnus von Horn, the director of the film, is just making his case for being one of the most interesting directors, young directors of this new generation, not just in Poland, not in Europe, but in the world. And I have to say that I see a great, bright future ahead of him, especially because many of his films have been presented to wide audiences in Europe and in the world, and they have always garnered a lot of attention. So having a film nominated for a Golden Globe is just a wonderful thing, especially because it's mostly produced by Polish companies, and also with Polish actors in the background. But mostly this is just a beautiful European film, so we have nothing to be ashamed of. I strongly believe this will get a nomination for an Oscar, but it really doesn't matter, I have to say. This is a film that, thanks to such nominations, will be watched by many film viewers around the world. So this in itself is just a wonderful opportunity to present Polish co-productions around the world. And Emilia Perez is just a wonderful film. So I have to say, this is a film that I have been watching many times, 3 times so far, with my eyes wide open, because every single scene just brings something new, something fresh, something original, and you would not expect this from such an established director, since for many years now we have been seeing older generations of filmmakers repeating themselves, and Jacques Audiard definitely isn't one of these directors.
Magdalena Maksimiuk, thank you very much for your comment. It was a pleasure talking to you. It wasn't such a bad year for movies after all, listening to you. I hope that we gave all of you some appetite to watch the movies and many performances to discuss next. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching this episode of World Talks. But please stay tuned to TVP World as more news are coming up next.